Well, hello and welcome to this week's episode of the podcast. My name is Bella, and if you're a new listener, welcome to the Inner Group Chat. I'm so excited that you're here. And if you are a returning listener, welcome back, because we have a lot to catch up on. We have a lot to catch up on. First things first, just pulled my SD card out of my laptop to record this podcast, was just deleting stuff away. Forgot I hadn't exported the YouTube vlog. Forgot that I was deleting all the content that was in the YouTube vlog. In my head, that was a done task. I just never exported it at the end. And now, here we are. We're just gonna have to do it again with half the content in, and it's fine because it's not the end of the world. This is what I keep having to remind myself about, like content creation and, you know, just life in general, but mainly content creation. It's really not that deep. I'm posting a video on the internet. It is not corporate vibes. If I'm not super productive one week, if I don't have things to post, the world keeps spinning, life goes on. And so I'm really trying to channel this inner calm, it's really not that deep, and deleting my entire YouTube vlog is testing that ability, but I still did it, and I'm fine with it. Okay, this week I've just been back to routine because since we last spoke, I've been camping. I am now a fully fledged camper. I think I can call myself that. It was, honestly, I had the best. It was so much fun. Could not recommend camping more. Is it a cheap weekend? Not as cheap as you think it's going to be. Okay, buying all your camping kit, expensive, but once you have it, you then have it forever. And so this is how I saw it, as like an investment type of thing of like, okay, I'm gonna have to spend this money now, but once it's gone and spent, finished, kaput. Okay, never gonna have to buy it again, not for at least a few years. So I got myself a sleeping bag, a sleeping mat, we've got a tent, and now I think we've got the basis. I also, like a couple of years ago, someone at the front of our apartment block was like handing out free stuff. You know, when we have this thing where I think it's like in every flat block, but before it goes to the bin, like there's a free section if someone else wants to take it. And someone put a camping stove in, and even though I wasn't a camper then, I was a forward thinker, and I don't think there is any better feeling than picking up something that you know you don't need right now, but you have a gut feeling that future you is going to want it, and so you just grab it. And you either buy it on sale or you purchase it, or it's being given away for free and you take it and you just think, I know not right now, I know you don't fit my life, but I know you will fit my life, and I just don't know how, but I know you will. And then when that product comes into your life, there's no better feeling. There is no better feeling, because that camping stove was incredible. Could make a little coffee, make a little egg sandwich, which you would have seen on the vlog, but I deleted the clip, so you're not going to see that, but it was really cute. And the tent was great. I don't think you need a branded tent. There are definite benefits, you know, extra things like pockets. It was literally like no pockets at all, but I don't think any of that's the end of the world. And climbing Snowdon, definitely fine. I don't think Snowdon is not the hardest one I've ever done. By no means. It's the tallest one in Wales, but like some of them, we did Helvellyn like maybe 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, way harder. It was just like a Stairmaster for about 40 minutes, and then once you've done that, you were kind of at the top. I'm not saying it's super easy, I don't want to but I definitely don't think it's the hardest hike I've done. And so if you're thinking about doing it, don't let the fact that it's the highest one put you off. There's also different routes. We did the miners route, and that one was a good route, to be honest. It was a bit less busy than the main one because there was this international run going on. What are the chances? We picked to go on this lovely, beautiful walk on the day an international trail running competition is happening. Not that shocking. It is a big hike, I guess, and quite famous, and there was it was busy, which obviously it's going to be, it's Snowdon, but it was busy. Like, I would just mentally prep for that too. But I had the best time. It was really fun. It was a fun way to spend our anniversary, and the campsite that we were staying at had like a big lake outside of it, and you could go swimming in it, which I only did once, and I came back with 30 midget bites all across my face, and they're still healing now. We're not going to talk about that again because I did have a great time. I'm very allergic to midget bites, and probably going to a campsite near water in summer was probably a bad idea. But did I have a great time? Yes. Did the bites come up whilst I was there? No. Did they come up the week I was at work? Yes. And did I feel like I had chicken pox and feel very self-conscious and embarrassed going into meetings? Yes. Yes. But we moved. So all in all, camping was a success. I had a great time. Couldn't recommend it more if I tried. And so if you're thinking about it, then this is your sign. Now, I've been considering the idea of taking August off the podcast. I don't know yet. You might hear from me again next week. I might actually be thinking, no, what you're on about, you really want to record an episode. But next weekend I'm at my nana's. The weekend after that I'm going to a festival. The weekend after that I'm free. No plans. The weekend after that it's my birthday weekend. And the weekend after that I'm going to the Dolomites. Just got a jam-packed 6 weeks. Could be a good time to have a bit of a break. But equally, I always think before the podcast, I don't know. And then as soon as I start talking, I'm like, oh no. This is what I love. This is my true calling in life. So, I don't know. You might see some old episodes that I've reposted. You might see that if I take a couple of weeks off, or you might not. Depends how productive I am. We will see. On this week's episode of the podcast, we are going to talk about the importance of surrounding yourself with good people and the importance of choosing the people that you surround yourself with, because it's something that I think a lot of us just fall into. We fall into friendships, we fall into relationships, we fall into surrounding ourselves with people we liked at one point in our lives, but actually don't reflect the people we want to become anymore. And I think this idea of friendships lasting forever kind of tripped us all up. Again, I'm not saying all friendships won't last forever. What I'm saying is some won't, but the idea that they all will means that we hang on to relationships that actually don't serve us, that actually don't help us become the people that we really want to become. Because the biggest key indicator into whether a relationship, a friendship is right for you is, do I like the person I am when I'm around them? Because you are a direct reflection of the people that you surround yourself with. Their habits rub off on you, their ambition rubs off on you, their energy rubs off on you, everything about them rubs off on you. And so if you like who you are when you're around them, then that's ultimately a positive sign, because that means that you're going to enjoy the journey of becoming the people you want to become with that person. But if you don't like the person you are when you're with that person, if you don't like things they add about your character, about your personality, if you don't like how they make you feel, then that's something I think we need to listen to. Because I think a lot of times in friendships or relationships where we're unhappy, the reason we're unhappy is because we're dating or becoming friends with or falling in love with the potential of someone rather than the reality of who they are. And falling in love with the potential of someone not only trips you up, it also trips them up. It's not fair on either party. Because falling in love with the potential of someone means you start to draw the outline of who you think they could be. Who you think their personality is, who you think they should grow into. You start acting like you know best, and rather than giving them the space to work that out themselves. I think working out who you want to become, working out what your best self is, it's a constant process. You're never fully done. You're never fully evolved, because you're constantly placed in new environments, new scenarios. But it's also something you have to work out on your own. You have to take control of that idea and identity of yourself. And that's why when we place expectations on people, when we start dating people's potential, when we start thinking, do you know what, you could be really great if you did all of these things, life starts to get a bit messier, because it's not fair on that individual to place expectations on who you think they should be, because they should be able to explore that for themselves. And not only does placing expectations on them trip them up because they feel forced into a corner that they might not want to be in, maybe they do, but they don't get the chance of working that out because you force them into that corner. It also means you're constantly playing this waiting game. And it's why it's so important to meet the person where they're at and fall in love with the person where they're at, and make sure that that is the person that you're looking forward to spending however long you're planning on being with them for. But that's how you're looking forward to spending the rest of your life with. Because if you love the person where they're at, you can be on the journey of them growing, but if they didn't grow anymore, then you'd be happy. Because you're dating them for who they are, not because of who you think they could be. And that constant waiting game of who someone could become, of how great someone could be eventually if they did all of these things, starts making you feel like you have this upper, higher moral ground. And I don't think that's a positive way to be in a relationship, a friendship, any type of interaction with another. I think it should always be equal. I think it should always be something where you have mutual respect and love for someone else. And I'm not saying, you look at someone and you love who they are and you also know they're going to be something great because they have ambition, they have these purpose, they have these drivers. I'm not saying don't have that. Obviously, if you fall in love with someone, you're going to see that in them. But it's not needing those things to happen. I guess it's not having conditional love. Your love can't be based on someone achieving certain things in their lifetime, because you don't know that they're going to achieve those things in their lifetime. That means you're constantly going to be playing a waiting game. And when you're playing that waiting game, I think it makes you a bit nastier, because you're judging every single one of their actions. Because you're judging every single one of their actions, trying to get them and mold them into this person that you want them to become. And in those moments where you realize you're playing this waiting game, the The most important thing is to stop asking yourself, do I like them? Am I in love with them? Do I enjoy this friendship? It's to ask yourself, do I like the person that I become when I'm around this person? Because the people you surround yourself, they are going to be the teammates of your life. Okay, you got to imagine it like a football squad, okay? We're playing the World Cup, and you've got to pick your players because each one of those players is going to rub off on you. Their energy, their ambition, their want for life, the things they value, it's going to rub off on you. It's going to come up in the constant conversations you have throughout your lifetime, in the support you receive when times are low, in the celebrations you receive when you do great things. It's going to constantly be something that rises its head in your life, in the people that surround yourself with, because they're your teammates. And so you need to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people that make you feel good and make you feel like the best possible version of yourself. That make you think good things about yourself and make you feel inspired about life. And I honestly think if your friends aren't making you feel like you're living a better life with them in it, it's better off being on your own. And that feels like a drastic thing to say, but friendships, not all of them will last forever. Not all of them will last forever, and it can feel like we've failed when a friendship ends because life and society has created this idea of like best friends forever and everything is going to work out and you're going to be connected forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. But truthfully, sometimes they just fade away, and not because of anyone did something wrong, but often just because you lost touch, because you lived in different places, because your life started pulling in different directions. But there will also be friendships where you both evolve into different people and you realize the similarities you once had aren't the same anymore. That you've become someone new and they've become someone new, and you don't like the people you are when you surround each other anymore. And you realize that you don't like the person you become when you're around them anymore. They don't reflect the person that you want to be. And so that friendship ends and it can feel like it's a failing, but actually it's just an evolving, it's a becoming, it's you turning into that next chapter. And so I want you to take notice of the people you surround yourself with. I don't want you to passively pick the people just because you've known them forever, just because it feels natural, just because you think you have to stay close. The people you surround yourself with matter, and it's why it's important to choose people that are going to reflect the person that you want to become. And it's why it's important to look around at the people you surround yourself with and look at them for who they actually are, not for who you think they could be. Because dating their potential isn't fair on them. Dating their potential, falling in love with their potential, having a friendship based on their potential is drawing an outline of the character of who you think they should be. It's controlling their growth, and I don't think that's fair. Because like we said at the start of the episode, the journey of becoming the person you want to be is the journey of finding your own identity. And that journey of finding your own identity is something each individual has to take. And so falling in love with the potential of something is you saying, I think I know who you're going to be, and that is the person I need you to become. It's dictating the growth into the person they need to be, and I don't think that's fair. And so I know you think falling in love with the potential of something is seeing the good in them, seeing and admiring and seeing their ambition and putting your own ambition in them. And I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm not saying you can't see someone and also think you're going to do great things. But what I am saying is, don't let that idea of them doing great things be the thing that brings you and draws you closer to them. You should love them for who they are, not for who they could be. Thank you for listening to this week's podcast episode. If you don't already follow me on Instagram or on TikTok, make sure you are following me at Mel from Bella, and I can't wait to catch up with you again next week. I'll speak to you soon. Bye! Mwah!